Hello and welcome to class number 58. Please note that we have our next in-person class on May 27th from 6:30 to 7:30. If you wish to join us, of course. We'll be doing it virtually as well. So we're going to start with whatever box you have or shape that you like. So slide over just a smidge. I'm going to divide my section in any way that I want. So it's just going to be a straight line. You can go sideways or any way you want. Doesn't matter. So now I'm going to take, I'm going to kind of divide it into other sections by using just some slightly arched lines that are a little bit further apart. So this, you can add 3, you can add 4. You can kind of come over here and stop and then draw another one. It's up to you how you want to divide it. The more white or larger sections that you have, the more interesting it's going to look. But again, you can have 10 on one side, you can have 3 and divide it however you wish. Just divide up your section first, and remember that these, as you can see on the picture on the left, these divider pieces are going to be wider. Let's see where I can put some here. I'm going to start filling in the remaining section by putting another set of arched lines. They're going to vary in direction and quantity. These are closer together so that they look like a little bit different. So you have the difference between the thicker ones and the smaller ones that we're using to fill it. So I'm going to divide this section here a little bit more, I think. Just kind of swoop it up there. And again, remember these divider ones, they don't have to go from one point. They can be short, they can be long. It doesn't matter where you have them. Like I could stick some short ones in here. It's entirely up to you where you have them and which direction they go. But they should be arched at all of them, or at least mostly arched. They don't have to be entirely. Or you could change it up and you could do these larger ones, the divider pieces, the whiter ones. You could do those straight and then do the ones in the background arched, or you can, swap those the other way. So the background is straight and the arched one, or the wider ones are arched. It's up to you. And you're just going to kind of work your way across section to section, just kind of fill up those sections completely until you have it all how you want it. I'm going to turn my paper just to make it a little bit easier for me. You don't have to. You can, whatever way is comfortable for you. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. The only thing that I will perhaps caution you about or advise you not to do is don't have these breakup pieces line up. So I'm not going to have one start right off of the edge of another one. They can kind of touch each other. Like the first one that I drew and the one on the other side are sort of in the same area, but they don't line, like the actual lines don't line up. It's the only thing that, it looks a little funny when they line up, so it's up to you what you want to do, but that's my advice. So again, you can change up this pattern however you want. If you want to change up the background or change up the lines, divide it even more into more sections, you certainly can. So you can add a whole bunch of other sections going in different directions. It's entirely up to you. For the second one, I'm going to draw another box. And you can divide this section in any way that you want, but you just kind of want to have a line going. I'm just going to do a diagonal line here. Not every shape that you do is going to be a square when you Zentangle, so on each side I'm going to draw kind of like a cat's eye. So you have an arched one on one side and an arched line on the other side. And this is the part that's going to take a little practice. You can certainly try this in pencil. first if you'd like. So I'm just going to color in the outside. So you want to leave a little bit of space between each of the fronds so that you can color in the background. You can see on the left you need to have background on all three sides. So the top, the outside, or the point of each little frond, and then the underside. So it's going to take a little practice. You're going to start up, kind of bulb out, and then come back. And these lines don't touch any other line except for the center, like cat eye or arch line that you drew. It does take a little practice. My first one that I did was awful. So maybe do it in pencil, try a couple, and then switch over to your pen when you do your actual Zentangle. It's up to you. Alright, so now that I have that all filled in, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to color in the background. I'm actually going to switch to my Chubby marker, and I'm going to color in the background that way. You can certainly do whatever you'd like. If you want to add color to this, you certainly could. If you want to color the fronds instead of the background, you could switch that up too and make it your own. It's up to you. So of course if you have a larger section you can just add extra diagonal lines, and you can just continue adding fronds in any way that you have. So it doesn't have to be a square shape that you draw that in. It can be any shape section or whatever you want. So now I'm going to work in this bottom section here, and we're going to do a medallion or something to that effect. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to make mine pretty large so that you can see it on the video. Yours does not need to be that big. So inside of this I'm just going to do a series of circles. I'm going to start out by drawing all the big ones, like the really big ones. And they're not even that big, but you can vary the size of this however you want. And if you're not a circle drawer, you can fill it in with dots or hatch marks, which is basically it's like patchwork or cross lines. So it's whatever you want to do. And then after I draw the big ones, I'm going to fill in with little ones and medium-sized ones until the entire center is full. Something just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to add my petals. I'm going to shoot for 5 petals instead of something else. So it's going to be kind of bulbous at the top. So it's going to be sort of a little wave at the top. You could do, now I'm going to kind of go behind that one and do a 3-prong one. So this is kind of like, it's got a little center point, I guess. I'm going to come up a little bit and draw the next one. And these can vary. If you don't feel like doing this sort of wavy edge, you can just have yours be straight across. It doesn't matter. If you want to do daisy petals instead, you certainly could. Just don't make them too skinny because we're going to fill the leaves in with another pattern. Perfect. So now I'm going to take any petal, doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to draw that same similar cat eye that we've done in a couple of patterns recently. Anything on the left side is going to be arched in that same direction. So you're just going to work from top to bottom. It does not matter if these lines touch. You just don't want to have any sections that are really, really dark because it's going to stand out quite a bit. So I kind of zigzag from the top to the bottom a little bit. You can do it however you want. If it's more comfortable for you to go top down, it's up to you. And then the other thing I will recommend for you is that you don't have a lot of white space. These lines should be pretty close together. If you can see from the drawing on the left, they almost overlap. Again, there's no particularness to it. I'm just kind of zigzagging. Some of them do overlap. Some of them touch another one. So in the center section, I'm going to kind of work in a circle. So I'm going to go top to bottom, and as I get closer to the center, I'm basically just going to draw a little line there. Okay, so now we're going to do that for all the other petals. Doesn't matter what shape your petals are. You want to start with this center cat eye, and then you're going to do that same thing with everything arching to the left, and then everything arching to the right on the right, and then the center cat eye is last. This flower is kind of a nice thing that you can just doodle on a card or on the back of an envelope for it to be really fancy. You can certainly use it on one of your Zentangle patterns. It's up to you. And have it kind of separate some sections. You can overlap the flowers and make a whole line of them to kind of be a border, whatever it is that you'd like. I do hope that you enjoyed the patterns for today. Don't forget, we do have another in-person class. It's going to be May 27th, which is a Thursday, from 6:30 to 7:30. I hope that you have a great day and a great week. Take care.